What's up, guys, and welcome to the Muscle Culture Podcast, where we talk everything fitness. Today, I'm super excited because this is the first ever episode, and I'm super hyped for it. Today, we got a very special guest. He's a veteran bodybuilder who has built an incredible physique, and today we talk and find out exactly how he did it. Let me introduce you to my good friend, Mondo. Go ahead, bro.
Hey guys, what's going on? Mondo. My name is Armando, but you call me Mondo. Yeah, I'm just excited to be here. This is new to me. Never been on a podcast or a recorded, show before, but my good friend has allowed me to be on his show. So just excited to be here and answer questions and just talk about fitness, honestly. What we normally do on the personal level, but this time is just being kind of shared.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think what I want to accomplish from this podcast, man, is mainly figuring out what you did to get the physique you have. Any tips, any advice you could give to people who are maybe struggling. And then also like future plans for yourself, man. Like, are you happy with how you are, or do you want to, increase, the amount of muscle that you do have? So let's get into it, man. I guess the first question to ask, man, is probably the most important one is so how did you start your fitness journey?
Start my fitness journey is I got drafted to play college ball from high school. So went over there, trained with them. I was not honestly crazy about lifting. I mean, I did it, but I wasn't like super crazy. But it always something that became kind of natural, fun. And then through their program, the football program, um, without knowing, I was learning a lot of stuff from the trainers and people that had a lot of experience. And then when I decided to quit football, I kind of reverted back to, a lot of people have, a lot of people that are in football sometimes they get quit or they get cut or whatever it may be, and they kind of lose themselves. But I found that I was in Nebraska, so I didn't have a lot of stuff to do, and I found that they had a little gym there, and it was always open 24 hours. So I just started lifting there, and I had a couple of buddies that kind of taught me how to do movements, and after that, I kind of just took off with it.
Okay, awesome, man. So I feel like that's pretty natural. Evolution is most people will come from like sports, football, basketball, and then once they get out of it, they still have that yearning for wanting to like improve their performance. And so I feel like just the natural evolution from sports to weights, it's a pretty natural thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of did the same thing that you did, right? I went from football, and then after high school, I took up weights. So I could definitely relate to that, man. Definitely relate to that. So are you originally from Nebraska?
No, I'm from a small town called Lido. Um, so I wasn't really in San Antonio, small town called Lido, and from Lido they kind of drafted me, and I just moved up to Nebraska for about 2.5 years or so, and yeah, and just went cold turkey from here, and went over there for a couple of years. Yeah.
Okay. So I'd never been to Nebraska. Can you kind of like speak on like how the fitness culture over there is in Nebraska?
So as far as the fitness culture, I think that the town that I was in, it was Shadron. Um, it was I don't think there was a lot of stuff to do. So it was either if you're in that town, you're in sports. And so if you're in that town, then you're in sports or you're something related to college athletics. So I think that I was just around a lot of people that were fit and liked lifting because they had to do it for sports. So I don't think I could speak on the whole, place, but um, the people I was around were definitely, you know, fit and wanted to work out and stuff like that. So
Okay. Oh, awesome, man. So then when you made the transition over here, to San Antonio, and of course, you came here and you started a life and you continued to work out. Did you face any challenges since you've been here in San Antonio specifically, like on your physique, or like has it always been a smooth road, or did you come on to any, bumps in the road?
so the culture here, I would say the culture here is different as in society as a whole and what that's available for you to do, the events, um, And I think the most thing that the things I faced was trying to stay focused. Over there in Nebraska, literally there's nothing. There's nothing. So all we did is lift. You know, the nearest mall where I lived was like an hour and a half, hour away. So the challenges here were trying to stay focused from parties, going out, eating bad, stuff like that. So I think that that's the biggest challenges that I faced is trying to keep, my physique and trying to make hours for the gym and eat well. So that
Yeah,
was
and
my
actually, you bring up a good point, man. Because here in San Antonio, if you're not from here, man, there's a lot of good food, a good Mexican
Mhm.
food, but it's not the best when it comes to your physique wise, right? You eat too many tacos, you wake up in the morning, and you got a little bit of chub down there. So
Yeah,
I totally get it. I totally get it.
sweat grease. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So then I guess we could kind of go into then your diet. I mean, do you follow any strict diet, or are you just like the type of guy that is just like, hey, if it fits my macros, then I'm eating it.
Yeah, no, so I did follow a strict diet. And like I said, everything I do and learn are from people that have experience, right? Um, and I just listen, I pick up on it, and I kind of take off with certain stuff. I had somebody creating my diet for a brief, like I would say maybe month, and I kind of just paid attention to what he was telling me. And the thing that stuck was he told me he's like, hey, you want to be a bodybuilder? I was like he's like a pro bodybuilder. I was like, no, I mean I don't really have any goals and be a pro bodybuilder, getting on stage or anything like that. Personally, I don't. Um, and he said, okay, well then, stuff you eat when you diet, you don't exactly have to count it out. You don't have to measure it out. Just make sure you're eating the right amount of proteins, carbs, fats, and kind of eyeball it, to not make it so put yourself in too much strain, like stress on trying to meet specific numbers. So I think I just when I first got out here, I started eating healthy and I started just eyeballing my like I said, fats, carbs, stuff like that. And then San Antonio started getting me, you know what I mean? You see restaurants and stuff like that. So I think now I transition to eating healthy as much as I can and not overdoing my amount of foods and stuff like that. And of course, depending on whether I want to gain weight or get stronger or whatever it may be. But yeah,
Okay.
so
All right, yeah. So for the most part, what I'm getting is like you're not too strict on it,
no,
but you do follow moderation, right? Like you don't want to overeat. You do know the basics of nutrition, so you know what's good and what's bad for you.
yeah.
So yeah, I feel like you're doing the right things because I could tell, man, from your physique. I mean, like tell everybody, dude, how much do you currently weigh right now?
Right now I got down to 245,
245, and how tall are you?
6 foot.
So like 6 foot, 240. And I'm gonna assume, man, I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm gonna guess you're probably like below 16% body fat, maybe
Mm,
17.
yeah, probably like 17, maybe a little more up there. I appreciate you though. I appreciate you. But that's probably all you. But no, yeah, I'm a little higher up there, but not too crazy. Yeah, yeah, not too crazy. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Nah, so of course I worked out with you. We worked out,
Mhm.
together. And
Workout.
yeah, yeah, it was a really good one workout. It was the leg workout, and man, you killed me. There's a reason why they called you Quadzilla, and
Hmm.
that's because this guy's quads, they're massive. I mean, go follow his Instagram. Your Instagram is Quadzilla, right?
Yeah, Quadzilla underscore 34.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, and you'll see all his pictures. He's a massive guy, but he's built his body consistently over years. Like this didn't just happen overnight. So if we could kind of speak to that too, man. So the whole reasoning behind your leg workouts, they're so intense. You do a lot of reps, you do a lot of sets, a lot of volume. Is there a reason why you focus so much on your legs?
Yeah. And by the way, thank you. And hey, man, you don't cut yourself short, man. You're big, huge, man. You're huge.
Thank you, man.
Talking about. But no, I think I focus on my legs more because when I was in Nebraska, I had this one friend. His name's David Chandler. He was my roommate for a little bit. Um, you know, I had a couple roommates, David, Jacob, and what is it called? Well, David, he kind of steered me in the right direction of how to squat, right? And he kind of, unorthodox at some times, but he taught me that, you know, how to squat and different movements. And I think I just fell in love with the power you get in a squat, you know. I think I fell in love with the pressure on, if your movement's bad, you can hurt yourself. If you're if you go too fast, if you go too low too fast, or if you try to stand up too fast, if you don't spot someone in squatting right, and you know doing a movement for power, and then throughout your workout tapering off to movements involving isolating the different muscles within your legs, right, and giving your back a break from all the pressure that squat has. So I think I fell in love with the pressure of, if you do something wrong, there's consequences. And I think that falls within, football. That, I'm sure
Right, of course.
if you were too late on a call, I mean, if you were too late on the corner, or if you were too late on a tackle, or if you were too late in the way you thought about a play, then you're gonna fail.
Oh yeah,
So I think
absolutely.
I think I like squat because it's something that is hard to do, and not everybody can do it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think for me, man, legs has always been a touchy subject, man.
Mm.
Because I grew up. I don't know how you grew up as far as like what your friends were doing, but my friends, it was all upper body, man. I mean, it was arms, it was chest every day, right? There were no legs, and
The summer muscles.
the summer muscles, man, guns out, suns out, right? So, um, it didn't. It took maybe I don't know, man, 2 years into my actual fitness training for me to really realize that hey, if I want a complete physique, I have to hit these legs. And so not only does it help, with performance wise, but just aesthetic wise. I mean, I don't know how many times you've heard the joke. I'm sure everybody else has heard the joke. Nobody wants a dude that has chicken legs. Heavy up
Hmm.
top, small at the bottom. It's not a good look.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no. Good look. Yeah, call you what, Johnny Bravo or Larry the Lobster.
I don't want none of those names, right?
No, no.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that me and you kind of have that same similar relationship with legs now. I like to hit my legs twice a week. I know
Hmm.
you hit twice a week. Some I don't know. Sometimes you probably even do 3 times a week, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No,
yeah.
it's a fun movement. And when I said not everybody can do it, I didn't mean like everybody can't. Not everybody can squat. Everybody can squat, but like I've seen you squat, and when you get to the level of very heavy squat, right? That not everybody likes to do, right? Because it's uncomfortable, it hurts, it
Yeah.
sucks, and it's scary. And man, I've seen you squat. I was right there spotting you, and yeah, man, I could tell that you have good form, and you have that drive, and you also know when it's time to give yourself a little break. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
definitely.
You got to be careful.
Yeah, it is. It's funny that you brought that up, man, because I actually squatted last week, right? And I didn't even go heavy, but what I noticed is since our leg day workout that we had, I made improvements based on your form, right? Because you bounce out at the bottom.
Yeah,
Even if it's heavy, you still bounce out. And the cool thing about you, man, is you have enough range of motion to go ass to grass, right?
yeah.
So I mean, your butt will literally almost touch the back of your calves. And so I took that and I applied that to my form.
Mhm.
And not only am I controlling the weight a lot better, but I'm getting a lot more muscle activation and muscle growth because I'm using full range and I'm not
Mm,
just using momentum. I'm actually using what my muscles are giving me.
yeah.
So thank you, man. That was a big help that you probably didn't even know that you passed on to me, man. And so I've been utilizing that every time that I do the squat.
Hey, there you go, man. Yeah, it's I'm glad to hear that. I mean, your squat was really, your form was really good. So, but that just goes to show you, if the minor tweaks and minor adjustments, help a lot. Um,
Absolutely.
but but yeah, man, I'm glad to hear that. That's what I think that people need to know as well, because you have a lot of these people, right? And not to shame anybody, I'm just glad everybody's in the gym. I'm happy that everybody goes to the gym, even if whatever you're doing may make you giggle or laugh sometimes, but at least you're there. At least people are in the gym trying to work. But having said that, people need to realize that, sometimes I'll see these people, and as lifters, we know we could look at someone and tell, like, oh, they've been lifting for a while, or they're kind of starting out. And you have some people that go out and wrap their legs, get a belt, you know, get a bunch of stuff, and all that stuff is really good, which much is really needed in the movement, but um, they do it too soon. They don't give themselves or their body a chance to develop with just a raw squat. Their knees and ligaments and muscles don't develop because they start off with knee wraps and a belt too soon. You know what I
You know
mean?
what? Can you say that again? Because I don't think people appreciate that as much as they should. So please say it again. What do they need?
You need to let your body develop before you start strapping on equipment around your body, right? That's just the plain, like, you know plain version of it. You gotta let your body develop. You gotta go out there, you gotta squat raw, right? And you gotta see how your body feels. You gotta see how your knees react, how your back reacts. You gotta get your form right. Not perfect, no one's perfect, but you gotta get it to where you're comfortable enough to know where you're not gonna hurt yourself squatting raw. And then once you get to that point, knee wraps and belts are for when you want to get high volume, right? And you want to throw some weight on there as well. The belt and knee wraps are for, okay, I'm talking within the bodybuilding
Of
lifting
course.
standpoint, right? Not powerlifting. Powerlifting is kind of different, but you throw knee wraps and belt because when you want to squat, you know, that 15 rep, 12 rep range, and you want to get some weight on the bar, your body is going to tire out. Your ligaments are going to tire out. So those belt and those knee wraps are just for support when you get to those high rep ranges, not for, at least in my opinion, not for every lift, you know, every time you go in.
And I completely agree. I don't know how many times I walked into a gym and I've seen teenagers,
Yeah,
belting up. I mean, just to squat, 25 pounds on each side.
exactly. Yeah.
And relatively speaking, 25 pounds on each side can be heavy to
Oh, yeah.
someone. But
100%.
but if you're a healthy high schooler, I know in high school I was able to easily do 145 on each side,
Mhm.
with no help at all.
Yeah.
Right. And so I just feel like if you give your body a chance, like you just said, give your body a chance to adapt, to actually strengthen up naturally,
Hmm.
then once you get past the point to where doing it naturally is you can't do it, right? Then that's when you start thinking about, okay, well, I need some support. I need a belt, I need
Yeah.
some wraps, I need some
Yeah.
knee support,
There's
all
levels.
that
There's,
stuff.
there's levels. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, awesome, man. So you know what? I kind of want to see because I'm also curious, right? I want to
Hmm.
see like what would be like the best advice that you could give to someone starting, right? Someone just beginning in their muscle journey. What would be like one big advice you give them?
So depending on, of course, depending on what they're gonna do, but for this podcast sake, we're gonna say I'll do bodybuilding first. If someone wants to build muscle, right? In order to build muscle, you have to put the muscle under strain, right? You have to the muscle has, and I'm gonna say this in like just like where anybody can understand, because I sometimes I talk to my mom about lifting and she's like, "What are you talking about?" But so anybody can understand, your muscle realizes that you're putting a lot of weight on it. It's going to grow. It needs to. You're lifting right, of course. It needs to grow, right, in order to sustain the weight that you're putting on it. So my advice for first time lifters is go light, and get your movement down. Go light, get your movement down. Have other people look at your form. Every person is different, every body is different. So how I squat, how you squat is different, right? Some people, for example, some people have a leaning squat where they lean forward on the start of the movement and they go down squat and they stay leaning forward the whole time. I've seen people work like that. I've seen it work like that. Some people stand up straight and have a high bar where your bar is on your traps up here. That puts a lot of weight. That makes you top heavy. So when you squat, it puts a lot of weight for you to push down forward. Some people have low bar where it's on your traps more down to your back. The bar is like right here pretty much. And that allows the bar to help your center of gravity more. Whereas if you're leaning forward a little bit, the bar is back and you squat, that center of gravity, that straight line, you're able to maintain it more, in my opinion. So just work on your form, go light, and figure out what technique works best for you. Even I go light sometimes, so because I'm feeling kind of my back hurts and I go light and I say I need to fix my form. So go light and work your way up. Make sure you got your form right. Then start putting on that weight. And then once you start going up in weight and you feel your body where because you'll feel your body. When you feel your body when you need more support, then start getting a belt, then start getting knee wraps. So that's my opinion.
All right. I mean, that's great, man. I think the biggest takeaway from that is focus on your form. Make sure that you're doing things correctly. Even though you want to ego lift heavy weight to compete with the other people that I see around you, that's not a good idea because that's only going to set you back.
Yeah.
So stick to what you can do. Do it correctly, and you will get the best results that your body can achieve. So now I kind of want to get into, maybe some mistakes that you've made, man, because I know I've made plenty on my road.
Mhm.
So for you, what would be like a big mistake that you've made on your own physique that you want to share to other people so they don't make that as well?
Um, like I said, every person is different. Their body develops differently. I feel like for me, um, my legs naturally developed. You know, for me, my legs naturally developed. For me, I wish my core developed. You know, I wish my core looked like yours, right?
Thank you.
But it doesn't. So I think that people kind of look down on themselves sometimes, and because of that, they start trying to go against the grain per se, right? Now, what I mean by that is, um, if somebody is more lean body type, right, then you need to exploit that and you need to go with your strengths and do workouts to get yourself more cut, right? Get yourself more of that athletic aesthetic look, right? Me, I feel like my body is more bulky and more of a like a power body. And then yeah, I don't have that core, cut. I don't have that core abs. I don't have that, but I feel like around me, my legs and my chest and stuff like that, more of a power body. So that's what I went with. I went with my physique. I lifted heavy on those areas, right? And I grew them. Now, before I did that, I wanted to be like the person that has a six pack, right? That's just not how my body is developed. Of course, I could get it, but it just comes more natural to some people. So I was doing workouts to try to get that, right? And I was ignoring my legs, I was ignoring my chest, I was ignoring my arms, because I was trying to get that body type of that aesthetic, lean, athletic look, that like model look.
Yeah.
Um, and so I wasted a lot of time trying to get that and not, you know, capitalizing on my strengths.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that is a big mistake that I think most of us, fall into is we try to focus on what we think looks good on us or what we want to look good on us, and we kind of neglect the other things. So I could totally relate to that, man. Well, Mondo, man, I do appreciate the time that you spent to come on this podcast with me, man. I mean, this was very informative. I know I'm gonna take away pieces of what you've told me, because I have some form issues myself that I need to correct. So you
Yeah.
just brought to light, some of that, and so I just want to thank you again, man. If you have anything else to share, man, please go ahead.
Oh man, I just appreciate being on the podcast. Hopefully we could do it more, right? Man, you're a cool dude, man. Glad we met. I'm sure we'll make something more later on. I'm sure we'll make another video, man. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
but the your physique is crazy, and you're pretty strong, man, and you work hard. I could tell that. So, you know, but thanks for having me, man.
Hey, absolutely, man. Thank you for coming on. Again, guys, like you said, we're gonna be making more content, so please follow close, subscribe, man. Do what you got to do. We're gonna be here for you guys, providing information that will help you on your fitness journey. All right, man. Armando, I'll check you later, bro.
Peace, man.